Hey, my divas. Welcome. I hope you guys are having a super blessed Sunday. Mine was super great and productive, and I've been getting a lot done. And I'm super glad to be here with you guys tonight. It is about 5:50 on Sunday, December 14th, and it is day 14 of my DIY Diva Christmas countdown. And today I want to talk a little bit about inks. But first, I need to get my camera set up. I've actually already put lotion on my hands because I cut my nails because I got a hangnail and it was really hurting, so I chopped them all off. Except for that nail. That nail never gets all the way cut off. There's a story behind that. I just found my removable adhesive. I've been looking for this. I just found it. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. Just kidding. So when I was, I don't know, maybe in the 4th grade-ish, I was messing around with a pencil, and I think I was in line to go back into the classroom after recess. Y'all remember recess? Do they still even do recess? I feel like they've taken so many things away. Goodness knows what they do now. Anyways, so I am in line to go back into the classroom, and somebody bumps into me, and I was holding the pencil, and it, however, I don't know how it's only been shoved up underneath that nail. So painful. And for the longest time I had a little black mark there, but the black mark went away, but the nerve underneath that nail was, I guess, damaged. So now if I do this, you know how you can type and do whatever? If I did it at the very tip of that, if my nail's all the way cut down like this one is, it will send a shockwave all the way up my arm. And it is so painful. Like, it'll leave my finger throbbing as if I had slammed it in a car door for a while. So I never cut that nail. One time it broke, and I put like a Band-Aid on it for days until the nail started growing back out. It was bad. Yeah. Hi, Marjane. Hey, Sharon. Welcome. Let's see who else pops on. What did I do? I did something wrong. Hi, Chris. Welcome. Today, I want to talk about inks. So, I'm going to jump right into it, because I know it's pretty late for a lot of you guys. It made me think about this. The other day I was talking about how Stampin' Up! Does their classic inks now. Hey, Cynthia! But they used to have craft inks. I actually found my old one. So I think we still sell it by Ink Pad. I've never had to get a new one, but this is the craft ink, and it's considered a pigment type ink. And I've got some other brands of inks out because I really want to talk to you guys about this, because I get the question a lot, like, how do you know what ink to use? Or why is there different kinds of inks? So there is a purpose for certain inks, like the difference between StazOn, Memento, our classic inks, our craft inks. They serve different purposes. The one we're most familiar with, of course, is our Stampin' Up! Classic inks. They're water-based. Pigment inks, if I am not incorrect, are more like an acrylic base. Now, I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. I'm not the master Yoda person of inks, but I'm going to teach you what I know of them. Okay? I'm going to play around. I'm going to show you a little bit of the differences that they have going on. So I'm going to start with just the basic, these two right here, the classic and the craft, because there's a kind of a big difference. And then I'm going to kind of go into the StazOn, because StazOn and Memento tend to trip people out on when to use which one. So I'll tell you when I use them and why I use them. And, you know, like I said, I am not the Yoda, but I will do my best to educate you. Hey, Marsha. And then we got Tim Holtz, Distress Inks, and Distress Oxides, which I have been schooled on. So hopefully I will remember how to activate them. This is very similar to our classic and our, what would be our pigment inks. The oxide ones are more of a pigment ink, like this one. And their distress inks are more of a classic ink. So these ones are going to activate differently with different, like water or alcohol. Will change how this one reacts. And these ones take a little bit longer to dry. Hey, Sharon. Okay, so let's get right into it. I'm going to move these over. I'm going to go through all of them at some point. Oh, this one too is a pigment ink. I just wanted to show you different brands I had. So I'm going to start with just kind of how these two stamp on colored paper and on white paper. And I should have probably grabbed a smaller stamp. Maybe I will actually go grab a smaller stamp. And I think I am going to stick with a wood block just so that I don't have to continue to clean them. Here we go. Warm holiday wishes. Let's do that. Okay. So, I'm going to do my classic ink. I probably should use a different color other than red, because I'm stamping on red. I want you guys to see that. Let's grab Early Espresso instead. Just for giggles. Okay, so this is our classic ink pad. And I have a piece of acetate here because I want to show you on plastic as well, because it's going to make a difference. So I'm going to stamp half and half here, half and half here. Okay, so here's the thing. On regular cardstock, classic ink is going to dry super quick. It's not going to smear. On plastic, you see it's going to come right off. And actually I have a baby wipe because I knew I was going to do that. So you don't want to stamp on plastics with a classic ink, but on paper it's fine. But anything with a smooth, slick texture, so like metallic paper, glossy paper, glass, those are things you're not going to be able to stamp on with these inks. Pigment. Grab a pigment, and I'm actually going to go same way with the white. You guys can see it's kind of like paint. It's a lot wetter. This one wetter. Oh, I guess I should have grabbed a different color, but you can see here. I'm going to stamp here again. Again, this one, even on paper, watch, it's going to smear. You have to let this dry or give it a dry time. Pigment inks are also really good to use to grab embossing powder with a pigment ink. But what's great about pigment inks is, and if I can get it clean, I'm going to use this other pigment ink as well. They really work well to show up on, oh, this one even has any more ink on it. I've had it for quite some years. Oh, I didn't even do that the right way. That's okay. You guys get the gist of this. Again, on this, it's never going to dry. It's always going to stay wet on a plastic. Eventually, this will dry. You can hit it with a heat tool, or you can use the pigment inks to grab embossing powder, which I will flip this over and show you next. These will, like I said, eventually dry, but they take a long time. Like, for me, I feel like they take a long time. So I'm going to clean this off one more time. I'm going to show you with an embossing powder how you can grab pigment. And then we're going to kind of move into the Versamark, because that's another thing you can do with the Versamark is grab the embossing powder. And I think that's what most people use Versamark for, is to grab embossing powders. Let me grab me an embossing powder for my kit. And we'll grab whatever the first color that comes out is. Metallic copper. That's a word. Color. There you go. Grab that. I'm gonna grab that, and I don't see my embossing buddy, which doesn't really matter because we're not gonna use this for a project. Okay. So again, I'm gonna do this on. This might even still be wet. Let's see. I don't know if it is still wet, but we're gonna see. It is. That white and that gold still a little wet, not a whole lot. And then let me show you with a brand new stamp. I'm going to try not to get it too inky because we might be able to use this piece later. And just like you would with the Versamark, which I'm going to show you next. I'm going to clean this off. It's going to do the exact same thing. Except for the Versamark, I cannot see as well as I could with that white. Now you don't see the white once you heat emboss it. Ooh, apparently I did not have that. Nah, I didn't have that covered in Versamark, but that's okay. I'm going to heat it up. For those of you that don't know what heat embossing powder does, that's a whole nother lesson on the beauties and wonders of heat embossing. And you can actually heat emboss on like vellum and other papers, not plastic, unless it's a super thick heat resistant plastic. I got my heat tool. Having your heat tool preheated helps. I just want you guys to kind of see that you can use both pigment inks and Versamark to do heat embossing. This way, like so. See? And this one right here was actually the white, and this one was the Versamark. I feel like I got a little bit better result actually with the white. But both of them can be used to grab the ink. The other thing, like this is finally dry, so this one's down here. The other thing you can use Versamark for is, actually I think I'll use the bunny for this one, is if you want to give a real subtle background to a paper so that it's just not flat, you can actually continue to stamp, and you can you guys see that? I don't even know if it comes out on camera, but you can see the bunny there. This will eventually dry, and that little bit of like a hidden bunny will stay there. So that's another way you can use Versamark. So either to leave a real subtle, almost like a tone on tone, a watermark almost, or you can use it to do the heat embossing. So you can do that with Versamark. And again, like with the pigment, clean that off. I'm going to stamp this with the pigment, and then I'm going to put it to the side. And at the end of the live, hopefully somebody will remind me, and we'll go back and see if it's dry yet. You can also hit it with the heat tool, which I think sometimes helps dry it, but we'll see. There we go. And I'm going to stamp it twice. I'll hit one with the heat tool. Oh, and I'll show you another thing you can do with the white. If you dry it a little bit. I'm going to dry this one manually and try to touch it, and then we'll wait for this one to finish drying because it was a little bit juicier. Sorry, I know my camera's reacting to the heat tool being there. So see, it kind of lightens up a little bit. You guys see that? It's not rubbing off. It will dry. Super cute, right? And most pigment inks will do that. Let me clean this guy up. Does anybody have any questions yet so far on the Versamark and the pigment and the classic inks that we've gone through? Any questions on what or whys or something I might be leaving out that you're still unsure of? Okay, don't you guys let me forget to check that at the end of the live. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is black inks. Oh, good. Oh, thank you for sharing, Marcia. Oh, you didn't know these things. I see. I'm so glad I'm talking about these things. Marjean said, I never thought to use white craft with embossing powders. Yep, you can definitely use a craft ink with embossing powders. So the other question I get is, we have Memento ink and StazOn ink. And I will tell you, you guys typically see me stamping with StazOn. And the reason for that is I feel like StazOn gives a crisper image and a more dark black image. So I'm going to stamp this on white. Then I'll go back in. I'll stamp it on the back side of this. Actually, I'll grab a new one. And then on red. Or Poppy Parade, I think that is. But the cool thing about StazOn is that you can also stamp on plastics. Remember that piece of acetate I had down here? Now I'm going to clean this off and I'm going to stamp right next to the white, the red, and the plastic with the Memento, and you guys are going to see the difference. Probably should have done it with the bunny, but I'll do a different comparison with the Memento and the StazOn with the bunny. Okay, so I'll do this one. And then this one. I know they're kind of overlapping, which is okay. Clean that off really quick one more time on the plastic. Now, right off the bat, that went because it was StazOn's a little bit stickier. Okay. So one, that one's not going to dry. But guess what? This one did. Even rubbing it with the baby wipe, it's not coming off. Now, if I was really to scrub this, could I get it off? Maybe. Yeah. I could get it off, but I am scrubbing, like, smushing my finger till it's turning white scrubbing. Like, just I could get it off. Ow, that hurt. But it does stay. I'm just rubbing it with my finger. That would have stayed. Now, I'm going to show you the difference. This is the StazOn. This is the Memento. Still really nice, crisp images, but it shows a little bit more on the white. I don't know if it comes out on camera, but the StazOn is a little bit of a blacker black, as the Memento is not quite of a dark, like midnight black to me. And I also tend to get a much crisper image with the StazOn. But StazOn is sticky and you have to know how to work with it. So there's that. The other thing, make sure that's dry. I'm going to grab another piece of paper. I'm actually going to grab this stamp for comparison. Is StazOn and Memento react differently with our blends? Or if you like to use Copics, they make a difference. So I'm going to stamp first with the Memento on this side. Ooh, that was not the best. This stamp's a little hard. It's not a Stampin' Up stamp, which is probably why. But it'll still work for the purpose I'm going to use. Again, this is the same stamp. I'll get the ink on that. Good press. Again, just not a really good I should have put maybe a foam mat underneath, but it's still, like I said, it's still going to work for the purpose of this live. Okay, so I'm going to grab, and so this is a Stampin' Blend. These are examples of Copics, which are the equivalent to like the store brand of our Stampin' Blends. Okay, so these are all Copics, and they say you're supposed to use Copics with Momentum because it reacts differently with StazOn, because both StazOn and Copics or blends are alcohol based as opposed to water based. So I don't know, this is the Day of the Dead thing, so it really doesn't matter. But if I start coloring this, I'm just going to color the eye. Actually, maybe I should use the bullet tip. You will, it will tend to bleed a little bit more, and sometimes, actually I should have done it with a yellow. Yellow shows it more. Actually, I don't want to ruin my yellows. I'm going to use it anyways. Color this one in. So that's my StazOn. Color in my butterfly. And you know, blends, you're supposed to be blending, right? So that was the dark one. Let me grab a different yellow. Or maybe even an orange. Sorry guys, I should have grabbed these earlier. Probably hitting the camera. And it's probably far away, so I'll show you in a second. Let me keep coloring. Actually, these ones are standing up pretty good to the test. So what will happen sometimes, I should have done one with a better image. I don't like how this image isn't clear. Hold on, I'm going to do a different image. I didn't like that stamp. I'm going to grab a Stampin' Up stamp. You can't see the effect if the ink didn't actually transfer. Oh, I could do my bunny. I have my bunny right here. Silly me. Okay, let's do it with the, but that might, let's do it with the bunny. Let's see if the bunny gives me a little bit better of an image. And you know what, let's put a, just for better image, let's put a silicone mat. Okay, that's a much better image. Okay, that's my StazOn. Let's do my Memento. Sorry guys, that other image just was not good. The rubber was really hard on that. I don't know if it's because it's really an old stamp, or if it's just because it's not a Stampin' Up stamp. I don't know. But the rubber's hard, and I don't like how the image came out. Okay, better. Again, we still get nice, crisp images. I'm okay with both of these. But this one is definitely a little darker. And then we can take the blends. I'm going to start with the light one. If I can reach it. Oh, my camera's too high. Okay, I'm going to start with my light. Color in my, I don't know, my weird chocolate tiger bunny. But I don't know if you guys can see. I'm going to do this. The ink is actually coming off on my marker because it's merging. It's activating it. I'm going to just do this. You guys can see, like, you get black ink here because it's coming off on my marker. So it doesn't hurt. You can just wipe it off, but it does affect the image over time. The same thing if I was to have stamped this in, say, early espresso, the ink would then activate. Let's grab a, didn't I just have early espresso out? I know I had it out. Oh, there it is. Let me see, did I clean that yet? I did not. Glad I checked that. Just for comparison, guys. So, I know we're doing StazOn and Memento, but Since I'm here, I can show you this one too. Okay. That is Early Espresso. I'm going to give that a second to dry. So I'm going to move over to, this is my Memento. I'm going to start coloring. And I'm coloring over this whole image. Doing good. But the ink, now if you look at the difference from those two, you can see where this one had blotches of the black because it was pulling up and activating with the stays on. As with the Memento, there's no black swirlies on my marker because nothing transferred. Okay, hopefully that makes good sense. Or hopefully I'm explaining that in a good way. Now this is my bunny with my classic ink. And I would never try to do this with a pigment ink because it would totally just smear everywhere. Not a whole lot of transfer, but I will tell you that these ones typically, now I'm going to tell you that it's not going to work, but after a while, these ones kind of fade out. I feel like they get, I can't think of the word I'm looking for. They get like fuzzy. Well, there we go. So you can definitely color with them. I know that a lot of people stay away from using the classic inks, but I use my classic inks with my blends, but this will kind of fuzz out sometimes, just like it does when you use Wink Estella. It gets kind of fuzzy sometimes if you over blend. Now if I was to go over it, that was with the light one. Now let's go over the dark one because we're supposed to blend in, right? This is the dark one. We'll kind of add accent points on certain spots. Not everywhere. I'm cleaning that off. I'm just going to go right into all of these. Blend, blend, blend. Clean that off. Color more. Ooh, went out of the lines. I mean, I don't care. I'm not going to use this for anything, but here we go. See, they all still work. But that is the difference when you're using your stamp and blends. You probably want to use Memento if you're really going to do a lot of blending, a lot of coloring for flowers and things. I'll grab my Memento. For really intricate words and things like Happy Holidays that I want to be super intricate, or on plastic or vellum metallic paper, I'm going to grab my Stays On. Let's see if there's any questions. Hi, Debbie. Marsha says, I'm loving this video. Thank you. You are so welcome. I was actually inspired by a video that I saw my old teammate and upline Patty Bennett put up. And she was talking about cutting paper, like the basics of cutting paper. And I've done that live before. Not recently, but I've done it in the past. Okay, the other one I want to talk to you guys about are these ones. Now, these are not Stampin' Up! Inks. This is a different brand, but this oxide ink will activate with other liquids. So I just want to show you that, and I also want to show you kind of the difference. I probably should have grabbed 2 pigment inks. Let me grab another one. So again, this is like our pigment ink, our craft ink, and this is like our classic ink. So, and you know the difference because they actually color code the difference. Oh, I forgot to clean that. Oh my gosh, I forgot I stamped that with Early Espresso. I think I just need a whole new baby wipe, guys, because that was a lot of Early Espresso to go all over my finger. There's another one called VersaFine. I don't remember if I have one of those. I'll have to go check. And that one's almost like a pigmenty ink too. Okay, so I'm gonna stamp my bunny. I really liked how the image is stamped better with this at the bottom. In the classic, which is their regular distressed inks. And then this is their oxide ink. So both very pretty. But again, this one is more like, see how it's sticking to the rubber? It's a pigment. I don't actually know if I could grab, if this one's actually thick enough to grab embossing powder with. Oh my gosh, the word is leaving me. But the pigment will activate to different inks. So I'm going to go, this is their regular distress, and this is the distress ink, and this is their distress oxide. I'm going to show you just side by side. I'm going to show you two things. So I'm actually going to cut this in half. We're going to remember the oxides on this side, the distress is on this side. We're about to get messy. Okay, I'm going to save that one. So I'm going to take this one. I should probably get some paper towels. This is the one thing I don't typically use these a lot unless I'm going through a Let's Play with multimedia phase. Okay, so I'm going to grab, really? Where is my water bottle? Okay, so this is just regular water. This is the distress oxide. And can you see how it activates with water? You just like really just put some droplets here. Because I really want you guys to see the difference between when you put it on the distress oxide as opposed to when you put it on the pigment. It definitely activates differently with water, which is kind of cool if that's what you're going for. Then you have, let me see, where is, now this has water and alcohol. Actually, I can just drop alcohol, can't I? Let me see, do I have any? Okay, this is alcohol. Just kind of dropping alcohol droplets on it. So just so you can see the difference. Still activates, still gets a little bit lighter, but I had to put a lot on it. I like to make it swirl. Look how it bleeds. I just think that is so cool. So, I'm going to grab that baby wipe. Pick a little bit of that up. So that's what the distress oxide does. The distress oxide will actually also layer on itself. So again, very different between water and alcohol. The water definitely activates it more. Go ahead and clean that off. I also really like distress ink for blending. With our blending brushes, it works really, really nicely with our blending brushes. Okay, I'm gonna grab, let's see if I can grab another color here of the distress oxides. Or can I reach them? Okay, grab them. So distress oxides. I hope I cut enough paper for all this. I'm so glad you guys are liking this video. Okay. So I'm going to take my, I'm just going to kind of run it. It's my purple. And then maybe we'll go into like a blue. And you see how it really layers up over that purple, almost covering it? I should kind of give it a second to dry. Give it a second to dry. I'm going to go over again with a, I don't know what color this is. Wild honey. No, Wild Honey was like a yellowy color. So yeah, we're kind of getting that mix, but you can still see that honey color on top. The top color is definitely keeping and taking over. This is a picked raspberry. Now keep in mind, I don't know if any of these colors are even still available. I had bought these a long, long time ago. But these ones layer nicely. And you know, if you go in with a classic ink, like our Stampin' inks, it's not like paint where you can go right over it. You guys see how it's almost totally gone? Now watch. I'm going to go back with the purple on this side because you can totally layer on these. Let's go ahead and go with that. What is that? Villainous Potion. Now, had you done that with like an ink, I feel like it would have absorbed more. And let's actually do that. Let's do that with the ink one. These are really fun when you're really doing multimedia and doing layers and coloring stuff. But it gets very messy. Well, I get very messy. I don't know if everybody does. Oops. There we go. Just sits right there on top. Okay, any questions on the inks I went through? And where's my water bottle? Because I just want to have fun with this now. This is where you get like the different mediums. They also have one you can splatter, but that's a whole different effect. I just want you guys to see the difference. Now, where was that other pigment ink I had? I had that little teeny one. But of course I've already lost. Oh, here we go. That's pretty dry. Again, another pigment ink. And again, pigments are going to sit on top of other inks. So this is how you can add layers of stuff without the colors and stuff just getting all mixed and muddled and creating a muddy color. You really want to work more with pigments, and you want to give them like a little bit of time to dry in between. And just expect your fingers to turn all different colors. But for the most part, they'll work good. Now here I'm gonna use one of my Stampin' blends. Now again, this was the classic. This was the distress ink. And see how it colors. I've never tried to color with the Tim Holtz ones before, so I actually don't know what's going to happen right now. Seems to be okay. Let's see. Doesn't seem to be transferring a whole lot. So that was the distressed. This is the oxide. Color that in. Seems to be holding a bouquet. The imagery. No, this one did pull a little bit. And you see it definitely pulled. I'm trying to clean it off now so it doesn't get ruined. It's still, ooh, it's still pulling off the ink. Which side is it on? Right there. So definitely won't be using this again with pigments because it's definitely pulled. So can you see those streaks? Those streaks are because it took that pigment ink. Yeah, I won't do that again. But there we go. I know it was a hot mess of a live today, but hopefully you had some of your questions. I'm just going to throw all that away. Answered. And maybe you kind of understand the difference between oxide inks now and regular distress inks or water-based inks. craft ink. We went over the Versamark, the Memento, the Stays On. Can anybody think of an ink I missed? If I missed an ink, let me know. Now here's that one that we tried this one, I don't know how many minutes ago. Now see, that ear was really wet. Let me look at this side. But the rest of it's dry. This one had a little bit of excess, and you can still see it's kind of super white as opposed to a little bit opaque. And you can see how it's smearing. So you really want to make sure if you're using the craft white inks that you wait for them to smear. However, here's a hint. If you're trying to create a snowstorm or a cloud, using that and smearing it on purpose, such a cool look. Marcia says, I'm sorry, what is distressed ink for? So distressed ink is just a different type of ink. This is like Tim Holtz's version of our classic inks, the distressed ink. And the distressed oxide is what they would be, it activates with water. So it's just another company's type of inks like ours. But what I like about their inks, let me show you. So I have a pink one. I know I grabbed the pink one. Oh, but I need the... I don't want to use my regular brush because oxides are... No, I can use the regular ink. Let me just show you. They blend softer. So give me a second and I will show you what I mean by that. And it's one of the reasons I like the Tim Holtz Distress inks for blending. And let me just show you. That was a good question because I didn't really touch on this, but it is something to keep in mind. Now, I think this is probably similar to maybe our Gorgeous Grape. So I'm going to grab our Gorgeous Grape. To show you a comparison. Now, I'm just going to grab some copy paper. Not like too big of a mess here. And a piece of cardstock. And no need to be sorry. I want questions. If you guys have them, if I can answer them, I will. Hey, Kim, hello. She says, hello, kind of neat. Never have tried these. Cool. Marsha says, okay, are you going to create a card now? I'm not creating a card. This is just this live is specifically just like a tutorial kind of live on different inks. But I will be doing a raffle at the end. Okay, so I'm going to grab, again, this is my Gorgeous Grape. Come in with my Gorgeous Grape. And it is super pretty as always. You get that nice soft look. Keep going. You can get that ombre look going on. Okay, now I'm going to try to get as much of that ink off now as I can. And I'm just going to flip this. I'm going to come in with the distressed ink. And yeah, I'm using the same brush. I'm okay with that. And it's just, they work so nicely with our brushes. I want you guys to see. It just looks, I can't explain. You get, see, just a really pretty flow with the, it's just like our classic inks. But that's how I started to learn how to use the blending brushes. And then if you came in with the pink, now this is the oxide. And I guess I'm just going to mess up this ink one. That's okay. I'll just grab a new one later. That just goes over those other inks. Almost like a paint. So this is the oxide. Now I'm going to go over this again with our classic, one of our pinks. I don't know, maybe like Rococo Rose. so you guys can see the difference on how it activates. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this off. Try to get as much of it off. This I might actually have to clean off, but we'll see. Okay, no, we're still on the pigment side. Let's go with Rococo Rose. And I'm actually going to grab a different pink blending brush because I do not want to damage my Stampin' Up! Inks by cross-contaminating them. So I'm just going to grab a different brush. I have a larger one, and until I can go back and wash that one at least. Let's see, red, pink. Bunch more. It's actually taking a lot of that purple. But can you guys see the difference now? This is the oxide, and you kind of see how it sits on top of the other inks, and our classic inks are just going to kind of melt into it. So it just depends on what look you're going for. Do you want it to layer up and sit on top? Are you okay with it melting in, like softer? It all depends on what you're going for between the oxides and the, like our classic inks. Now this one would be cool to keep playing around with and maybe make a card out of. I'm going to go back over with this one. Just because this one's coming out really pretty. Ooh, maybe I'll make a bunny out of this. Ooh, let's take the bunny. Okay, I said I wasn't going to make a card, but now I see one in my brain. Oh, not a bunny. Ooh, wait. Where's my Cezanne? Okay, I'm going to try to give this stamp one more chance, but I'm going to do it with the foam mat underneath and see if that helps. We'll see. Let's see. Oh, Marcia says, thank you so much. I learned so much. Chris says, I got interrupted and will have to go back and watch replay because I want to learn about Tim Holtz inks and how they work. Oh, definitely. That's what replay is for. And remember, since this is part of the countdown to Christmas, I will be uploading the link to YouTube. So, okay, we're going to try to give this stamp one more. We're going to give it one more try. And I probably should be using a foam mat instead of just a silicone mat, but I'm lazy and I don't want to have to go and get the other one. Oh, that was totally not straight. Let's see how it goes. I'm giving it a good press. No, just a crappy stamp. I know, I'm being mean. I really should try it with the foam mat, but I don't really know where my foam mat is. But that looks so cool. Okay, now I want to... I'm making a huge mess here. What did I do with my napkins? Oh, here it is. Now I have this other oxide, and instead of messing with my blending brush, I'm just going to kind of go around and create more. Oh, this is looking cool. I love Halloween. And I know it's not Halloween time, but this can go into my stash for later. But you see how the oxide is just sitting on top? That's what's cool about this, the oxide one too, is that it sits on top. It's a pigment. Now I'm going to try something, and I don't know if it's going to work. So I'm going to take my paintbrush. I don't know if it's going to work. Let's see if I can actually paint with this. Oh, I can. Okay, this is kind of cool. Because again, it's sitting on top of everything else. Oh, that's kind of cool. Maybe the teeth too. This is going to be a really cool card. I don't even know how long I've been on live. How am I doing on time? Oh, only 15 minutes. I did really good getting through all this. Okay. Clean that off. Actually, let's clean it off with a baby wipe. Now I'm going to come in with the blue. I want to come in with the blue on the eyes. This is looking super creepy. And I'm covering up the little heart there, but I think if I touch it with a little bit of water, I'll be able to clear it up some. Plus it'll activate with the water. We'll see how that works. This is so cool. Okay. Now I'm going to take some water just on the center of those eyes. Come on, you bigger dot. I know you guys cannot see this so well on camera, but can you see how it activated? Oh, that's so cool. Okay, now I'm going to put it around here. I do want to kind of dry that up now. Okay, now I want to I don't know if this is going to work. Let's see. Get my brush kind of wet. I'm going to just stick it in there. I'm probably better. I'm doing some tappies. Because I want it to activate. Oh, that looks so cool. Okay. Now I'm going to have to wash that because that was a water thing, but it'll be okay. I will wash that once I'm done. Because that was so worth it. This looks so cool. Dry that off. Doesn't that look super spurky? I like it. Okay, I'm going to run this and cut this down and mount it. Because I just think it's done now. I don't even know if I can bring my cutter out. I've got so much stuff out here, guys. Let's see. Oh, this was already cut down. Perfect. Ooh, but do I have anything to mount this on? Ooh, I do. I have this piece right here, which, oh, no. One, it's not a card front. Two, it's not spooky looking. Let's put it on black. Let's see if I have any black paper. Sure I do. There we go. It's not actually card front size. Let us see. Ooh, it's short. It's at 5. It is 8.5. 8.5 by 5. So maybe it'll just be a smaller card than normal. It'll be okay. Well, maybe I'll make it into like a little note card. Let's see. Okay, so this needs to come down. It was at 5, so I need it at 4 3/4. So I need to take a fourth off of each side, which is fine. These pieces actually might still look cool. Look how cool that looks. Like the reminds me of like concerts when I was little, and like the psychedelic lights. How cute is that? Okay, I made a card. I didn't even plan on making cards, but I did. So there we go. Let me glue this on. Okay, so let's do the mystery card raffle. Since it looks like Sharon's got to go, let's do that really quick. Hopefully before she has to go. If you are still with me, go ahead and type in the word inks. That's going to be the word for today's mystery card raffle. Inks. Because we were talking about a bunch of ink. And I so like this card. I think I know exactly who this card is going to go to. I'm going to save these pieces to decorate the inside later. Okay, let's get the mystery card raffle tickets out. And if you would like to be in the raffle, type in the word inks. Let's see. We got Margene, Nation Sussex. We've got Debbie Warden, Susan Holloway Lamanu, Kim Nolan, Sharon Woost, and I'm going to put Sharon Vickery in because she was here. She just did tell me she had to go, and I know she always wants to be in. Sharon Vickery, Marsha Long, Cynthia Spearman, let's see, anybody else? Okay, Cynthia's the last one I have coming up on my screen. If you put your name in and I missed you, please let me know. I will go back really quick and do a check. I love this card. I need to do some other stuff. I also need to move some of these inks out of the way because I literally have no room to even fold these and start putting them anywhere. So there we go. That, oops, no, still kind of falling on me, but that's okay. Much better. Actually, these can go in here where they're supposed to go. And then those go on top. And that can go on top. And yay, I now have room again. Well, kind of, sort of. I have so much stuff out. Okay. But enough to at least fold these now. Marsha, what is your... Marsha wants to ask me, what is your name for YouTube? It's just my real name, Leticia Hernandez. But if you need to find the links, once I upload them to YouTube, what I'm doing is I'm copying the link and I'm posting the link and connecting it to the picture. Because you guys know, typically after I do a live, I post a picture of what I've done. And so once I've had a chance to upload to YouTube, I will copy the YouTube link and put it there. That's what I've been doing. So you can still find it on my Facebook page, but Facebook deletes the lives after 30 days now, and so that's why I try to post a picture now. I've been doing that this month for the Christmas countdown. So I don't know that I will continue to do that for every single live next year, but for this Christmas countdown, I am downloading and uploading each live to YouTube and then posting the link back on my Facebook page. But my YouTube account is just my name. I think it has my hat on it. Me with a red hat. I could be wrong. It could be a different picture, but it's a really old picture of me because I created that YouTube account a long time ago. So yeah, I haven't typically used YouTube in the past. I just started learning for my classes. So my class divas know what I'm talking about. Marsha says, so when are you going to be on YouTube? I don't record live on YouTube, Marsha. I take these Facebook Lives and I download them and so that I can put them on YouTube. I'm already on YouTube. You can find days, countdowns 1 through 10 on YouTube already. They're there for the public. Like, anybody can see them. So, I am already on YouTube. I'm assuming you can search me. I don't know. I've never had anybody try that I know. So, but I'm already there. Okay, time for the raffle. I don't even know how to go live on YouTube, actually. That might be a new thing to learn in the new year. But for now, I'm still going to do my lives on Facebook, but I will load them, put them back up on YouTube. Or cross-post them on YouTube, I guess would be a good way to say it. Okay, good mix going on. Oh, I mixed it so well, there were no winners. Let's try that again. Okay, more winners that time. We got 3. Ooh, 2. 2. And 1. The winner of today's mystery card raffle is, drum roll please, Kim Nolan. Woo woo! Congratulations, Kim. You are the winner of tonight's mystery card raffle. Marsha said, I would to see live on YouTube. I don't know how to go live on YouTube yet. I would have to research that. But you can find me on YouTube. My videos are posted up there, so you can go back and watch them there. I think most things on YouTube, I don't know. I guess people can go physically live on YouTube, but I have not learned how to do that yet. So congratulations to Kim, and thank you guys all for watching. And I will see you guys tomorrow, probably at 3 o'clock. Because that time seems to be working pretty well for everybody. If that changes, I will update the Diva chain to let you guys know. That's all for now. Bye-bye, my divas. Ta-ta for now.